Imagine that it's a typical Monday and you're at your desk going about your normal routine when you are approached by a coworker of the opposite sex. You two engage in your normal casual conversations when the coworker makes sexual gestures towards you. Those sexual gestures are not only uncomfortable but also unnecessary. And how do you handle the situation? Unfortunately, sexual harassment is a common problem all around us. How can we minimize and control sexual harassment in the workplace? We need to understand that it is unlawful to harass a person, whether it's an applicant or an employee, because of that person's sex. Harassment can include sexual harassment or unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical harassment of a sexual nature. However, harassment does not have to be of a sexual nature, and it can include offensive remarks about a person's sex. Like, for example, it's illegal to harass a woman by making offensive comments about women in general. The victim and the harasser can be either a woman or a man, and the victim and the harasser can also be of opposite sex or of the same sex. According to the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the law doesn't prohibit simple teasing, offhand comments, or isolated incidents that are not very serious. Harassment is illegal when it is so frequent or severe that it creates a hostile or offensive work environment. Harassment can also be illegal when it results in an adverse employment decision, such as a victim being fired or demoted. Furthermore, the law effectively makes it management's responsibility to implement programs to prevent and correct harassment, or else face heightened liability. A common element of prevention programs is training, and especially for employees in positions of authority, which would include myself and the rest of you. There is little research that exists to demonstrate the efficacy of such training programs. However, we do know that training sensitizes people in recognizing harassment. However, no research has indicated that training enables managers to accurately identify harassment and respond appropriately. However, in training, we can learn how to accurately identify sexual harassment and recommend an appropriate response to sexual harassment incidents as well. Preventing sexual harassment in the workplace will save time and money and protect employees and help build company morale. The training will be aimed towards specific audiences and can be targeted towards all employees and also for supervisors and managers. Training for all employees and managers will include introductions to learners about sexual harassment prevention law and how to identify and stop sexual harassment in the workplace, and will also outline employee personal liability under the law. Employees are encouraged to inform the harasser directly that conduct is unwelcome and that it must stop. Employees should also report harassment to management at an early stage to prevent its escalation. While it is already insinuated that people will take these steps towards harassment, it's not always necessarily true, and they need to be trained and learn that it is okay to speak to upper management and to acknowledge that this behavior is not acceptable. According to workplace harassment training with OSHA at OSHAtraining.com, sexual harassment training is imperative for protecting your company from costly fines and a damaged reputation. The business can be hit by fines that exceed $1 million plus legal fees for defending a workplace harassment lawsuit. Sexual harassment is common in the workplace, and 54% have experienced some form of workplace sexual harassment, according to aware.org. This includes both men and women, and they are both likely to be harassed by the opposite sex or by the same sex. If you put yourself in that situation for a minute where you're the victim of sexual harassment, you would want an entire team behind you that would know how to address the situation and would be able to protect you and be able to protect your job, and the company would also be able to protect itself. I need all of you to stand behind me on this, and we will implement this training program so that we will not become statistics of sexual harassment, and neither will our coworkers.
Created using Powtoon.